Hey guys, what's going on? This is Ugo Opera, PA licensed real estate agent and investor. Today I'm reporting to you guys live from the Fern section of Philadelphia. Just finished a showing with a client. I'm not going to show you guys the whole entire house, but I did want to show you guys what a split system was because that's a question that I constantly get asked. And I just want to take this time out to talk about it because this property actually has one, and I want to show it off. All right. A little bit about this house and my client. So my client is going through the NACA program. If you have spent any time on my channel, you've heard me talk about the program. I went through the program myself. I'm a big advocate of the program. I do my best to be one of the top realtors that works with the program for Philadelphia, Delaware. I try my best to be the go-to guy. And it's because I strongly believe in the program. So my client is going to be going through the program. We're working on putting an offer in on this property. Property is priced at maybe $235, and for $235, my client probably won't come out of pocket more than $5,000. So if you go to and his interest rate, this client's interest rate is going to be less than 3% on a 30-year mortgage. No down payment, no closing cost, no PMI. Right? I cannot stress it. I cannot stress that enough. A lot of you guys are trying to get into real estate for the first time, and I'm going to tell everyone the same thing that I did for myself is what I would recommend for you. If you don't have a bunch of money, if you don't have a bunch of cash, right, and this is your first venture into real estate, what I highly recommend is you sit down with me. Let's get you ready to go through the NACA program, and then use the NACA program to buy an apartment building. NACA lets you buy a building that has up to 4 units. That's exactly what I did. I bought my joint. I got a 4-unit apartment building, 2-bedroom, 1 bath, times 4, and the cash flow from that property is what I use to pay for my hard money anytime I'm doing a flip, anytime I'm buying another property. It's a very useful thing to do. You gain a lot more flexibility once you start building cash flow. And I'm going to talk about that in another video, but I just wanted to bring it up here. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to give you guys a nice little walkthrough. So you have a nice little patio. They did a really good job by tiling the entryway. They went with the windows versus leaving this an open porch. They went with the windows, which I think was a really good call, because now you have a space that you can use year round versus the open porch where, of course, you can't use that year round. Once it gets really cold in Philly, don't nobody want to sit outside, right? And for insulation reasons, you now have another barrier before the heat starts sucking, before the cold starts sucking the heat through the building. Anyways, from there, you have your living room, super nice. I really like the floors, and typically I don't like dark floors. What I would have done in this property is if I'm doing dark floors, I would have put a hell of a lot more lights. The ceiling, around the ceiling fan, I would have had 4 lights, and I would have just had the whole runway thing going down, because when you put dark floors, you got to make sure you have a lot of light so that the room doesn't look smaller than it actually is. Lucky for this one, the room is huge. The space is huge. So, all right, anyways, let's go ahead into the kitchen. Kitchen looks really nice. They did a really good job with the kitchen. Again, they're going with this dark, the backsplash is dark. They're going with this dark tone. They did a really good job with the white cabinets. I don't know that I would have picked that gray as the backsplash, but it just kind of disappears, right? It just kind of disappears. You can't really see, not really something that pops out or catches your eye. But nonetheless, this looks nice. Through here, you have a deck. Actually, let me stop showing you guys this house. This might be under contract very shortly. Let's go downstairs and talk about what I wanted to talk about, which is the split system. But you know what? Before I go downstairs, let me explain what the alternative is. So right now, this house has central air. So, for example, you'll look up and you'll see a vent in the ceiling, right? That vent is attached to ductwork, which is attached to a furnace in the basement, and that basement is attached to a condenser that sits outside. The condenser pulls in air from the outside and runs it through the ductwork to cool it, and the furnace heats the air and runs it through the same exact ductwork to heat the house. So that's how it works, right? The ductless system does the same thing without having to run the ductwork through the house. So you wouldn't have a vent like this. It'll just be one source that's pushing the heat or the cold out, or both if the system is designed to do so. All right, so with that basic understanding, now we're downstairs in the basement, right? Beautiful basement. And this thing sitting on the wall is the split system, right? So instead of having the ductwork, this just has the heat and the cooling coming out of one source. All right. If you look in the basement, very nice basement, you'll see there's no ductwork like what we pointed out upstairs. There's no ventilation, there's no vent work, there's no vent down here at all, right? So the way that they're gonna keep the air cool, right, is with this system. So I have the remote in my hand. Let's go ahead and turn it on. Actually, before we turn that on, let's go to the back of this and go over how's it set up and connected and running, right? So this is the split system right here. Here's the split system right here. Here's the plumbing that got to it. You have this, which is the line that goes outside to the condensation box. Or the, what is it? Dang, I forget what the name of it is called. It goes outside to, we'll just call it the fan. You got the fan outside. It's not a fan. I can't think of the name. Yeah, but it's sitting outside. That's the system that pulls the cold air in. That's, what is it? I can't think of the system. I can't. Anyways, and then here you have the drip, right? Because it is an AC unit, it's going to sweat. Furnaces will have a drip system. And that's what's fueling this system here, right? That's what's fueling that system right here. So with that understanding, let's go ahead and turn it on. I have the remote in my hand. Let's go ahead. We have it set for, let's get the mode. Any instructions, but let's just set it for cold. Turn the swing mode on. There you have it. There you have it. So these systems are, they tend to be a lot cheaper than having to buy the system, the furnace, having the AC unit outside and then running the ductwork, going through your walls and things of that nature. It's typically just a lot cheaper to just buy one of these units. Now what happens is these actually start getting expensive because you would have to put one on every floor. So we have this in the basement. It's only cool in the basement. So then we'd have to put one on the first floor. Then we have to put another one on the second floor, right? And you have to run it out. Oh, this joint is beautiful. Oh, wow, I feel it. Oh, yeah, I feel it. Oh, man. That feels great. Good job. And what happens is you have to start putting them. So let's say this unit maybe cost me $3,000, right? That is considered a lot cheaper than putting an AC, central air in the house. But I have to put it in the house three times, right? Typically what I can do is maybe on a 2-story house, if the basement isn't finished, I might put it on the first and second. Now that's $6,000. $6,000 is maybe for another $1,000. You could just put central air in the house, right? So typically you only put this system in, or maybe what I would do, a situation where this would work out for me, in an apartment building, right? In an apartment building, I want to cool the whole apartment, but I don't want to run the ductwork, right? Boom, I'll just throw one of these guys in. And that's it. And I'll hang the condenser unit, I'll hang it outside of the wall, elevated from the floor, right? You ever seen them hanging on the wall? I'll hang it on the outside, elevated from the wall, and call it a day. But this is something that I just wanted to show off because it should have a position in your real estate investor portfolio as an alternative. The more tools you have in your tool belt, the better. Making sure you know someone that understands how to install this, knowing when to install it, knowing what your alternatives are. It's just good to know. And they're looking back on what I know now, there are a couple of units where I would have definitely opted to put one of these in versus the system that I have in place now, right? Whether that was for cost reasons or just to save myself a lot of time and aggravation trying to run the ductwork through the property. And it is what it is. So yeah, so that's that. And they come in all different sizes, right? They come in all different sizes. Some are very powerful, some are not. And the way they do it is just like with your central air system. It depends on the square feet that you're trying to heat and cool, right? So my guess is that, this is adequate for this space, but they might have bigger units. They might have smaller units. I know I've seen them a lot in deli stores or restaurants, and those are big. They might run the length of this whole entire wall, right? And they're cooling the whole first floor, just massive. This one's about half the wall, maybe. Whatever. And it's doing a really good job. I mean, I know I'm standing right in front of it, but yeah, even up to here, I'm like maybe in the middle of the room, right? Maybe in the middle of the room, and I still feel it. You know what I mean? It's a really good unit. So this is just something to consider, and I wanted to touch on it and talk about it because it's a question that I often get asked a lot by my coaching clients, and I just wanted to make this video for those of you who are not my coaching clients. I don't know why you're not my coaching client. Just to let you guys know that there are other options out there versus just paying for the central air system. And if I have a 1-bedroom or a studio and it's all electric, I mean, you better bet your bottom dollar that this is something that I would put in the unit. Or if I wanted to upgrade it, then this is something I would throw on a little bit later. You know what I mean? But then you have to make sure that you have the wattage to support it, right? So, I typically always upgrade all my units. This one is running on 100 amps, surprisingly. This box looks like it's a 200 amp. I don't know what the hell's going on. But typically I upgrade all my, I thought this was a 200 amp. I could have swore that this was a 200 amp. I'm puzzled. I typically always upgrade all my electrical to at least 100 amp. You know what I mean? If I have a duplex, I'm upping the whole entire building to a 200, and then I'm giving each unit 100 amp and taking it from there. So there should be more than enough power to tack on one of these in the future if I decide to, go back and touch up the unit. So that's that. But overall, I mean, this house is a really beautiful house, and I'm really excited to get it in a contract with my client. Again, NACA is a fantastic program. If you are looking to buy in the Philadelphia or Delaware area, even New Jersey, I'd be more than happy to help you out. Please feel free to reach out to me, and we'll take it from there. All right. Again, my name is Ugo Opara, PA licensed real estate agent and investor, and I'll talk to you soon.